March 26th, 2001. The final WCW Monday Nitro airs from Panama City, Florida. The war is over. Vince McMahon's WWF has won. The company that once changed professional wrestling forever was now gone. Years of creative chaos, overspending, and backstage politics finally caught up to World Championship Wrestling. From being the number one wrestling company in the world, pulling in over 6 million viewers a week at its height, to now being bought for relative pennies by its rival. But what if that wasn't the end? In this universe, it's not just a storyline. Shane McMahon really did buy WCW. For years, Shane had been seen as the heir to the throne, but never the one sitting on it. As the early 2000s rolled on, it became clear Shane's sister Stephanie, and maybe even her husband Triple H, were being groomed to eventually inherit the WWF. Shane was being overlooked. So Shane decides to create a legacy of his own, to step out from his father's shadow. When the opportunity arises, Shane acts fast, and he buys WCW from under his father's nose. Shane wants to build his own vision of professional wrestling, to prove he's every bit the creative genius people claim his father is. He wants to restore WCW to its former glory, and maybe, just maybe, he wants to topple the WWF and prove he should have been taken seriously all along. So like you heard from the intro there, we start off in May 2001. So just 2 months after WCW goes out of business, after the last Nitro airs. It's going to be a challenge, big challenge. Anyone who plays TEW or watched people play this series knows that. Because WCW in May 2001 doesn't have much going on. There is no TV deal. We have a deal for pay-per-views, which is good, but we've got no TV deal at all. So our biggest star is the owner, Shane McMahon, which isn't great. I'm not going to use Shane too much. I'll use him now in a bit, I think, for the first few months, just to help us out. But I'd like to get to a point where he's barely on screen, really, because I like the whole point of starting a new WCW or trying to bring WCW back is that you don't want it to be WWF 2.0. There's already enough McMahon drama on the WWF at the time. We don't want 2 shows of it. So we'll be using Shane for a bit for the first few months just to get us kick-started, and then we'll probably be bringing in like a GM figure or something along those lines. Our 2 top guys are Booker T and DDP. Booker T is currently, I think, the world champion and the United States champion, which is a bit of a tricky one to navigate. And then, I mean, after that, it's a pretty steep drop-off. We've got Buff Bagwell and Lance Storm are our 2 biggest guys after that. And then we've got the likes of Kidman, Guerrero, Palumbo, Canyon, Sean O'Hare, Shane Helms. There's a few guys there, but I mean, first off, we need to stack up this roster big time. We got to bring more people in. So I think this episode, we're just going to be having a look at our roster. Our finances are okay. I mean, we're not billionaires or anything. We don't have unlimited money, but I think we can get things up and going before we're in the red. We definitely can. There's enough money there to get people in, get a TV show going, and by the time the pay-per-view revenue and TV deals coming in, we should be fine. In terms of titles, yeah, Booker is United States and World Heavyweight Champ. Cruiserweight Champ is Shane Helms. And tag champs are Palumbo and O'Hare, which I don't mind, actually. I'm actually happy enough with all those. In terms of our creative, yeah, our biggest star is Shane, we know that. Next big things, we've got nobody, which isn't a good sign. Hot prospects, Jason Jett, who I'm not actually familiar with. I don't remember him. Maybe he works under a different name that I've forgotten. Jamie Noble, Shane Helms, Billy Kidman, Jimmy Young. So the cruiserweight division really is where all the prospects are. So we're going to have a lot of emphasis on that. I think that's going to be a lot of in-ring work, good matches being put on by them. Our top talkers, we're pretty good for talkers, to be fair. Our 2 top guys are good. Buff is good, and he's just a level below. And Canyon's just a level below, and he's a good talker as well. We've got talkers, and we can get managers in. That's no problem. Showstoppers, Booker, DDP, Canyon. Yeah, nothing too shocking there. Ring generals. we've got good workers in. Lance Storm is probably going to be featured pretty heavily for maybe the first year of the show, I'd say. Ideally, I'd like a guy who can talk as well and has more charisma. But I like Lance, and he'll definitely have to put on good matches. Who's hot? Who's not? Hidden Gems. John Cena, Shark Boy, and Bob Sapp. What a trio. All available. There's a lot of guys available in May 2001. Young talent. I mean, I don't think Ring of Honor is up and going yet. Maybe it was. And a TNA I don't think was going either. So, I mean, we've got a bit of time to get some names in who we know are going to be stars in the future and maybe build them up. And maybe we might find some people who didn't really make it at the time. Also, I want to say, before I really get into it, as you've probably seen from this channel, this is my first video on TEW. Honestly, this is my first proper save on TEW as well. I'm not new to it. I've played it a long time. I played EWR back in the day. And I love wrestling. I'm obsessed with it. But in terms of actually TEW, there might be some growing pains. So I might need some of your help once this gets up and going. Some advice, definitely. But I have an idea what to do. I have an idea of how I'm going to book it. But I might make some silly mistakes along the way. So bear with me. And if I do, just let me know. And I'll try learn as I go. Our figurehead. Could go Booker, could go DDP. I might go with Booker. I think it's probably a bit early to get a figurehead in to build a company around someone, because again, like, Booker is our top guy, but I think it's just because we don't really have much guys in. Yeah, I mean, he's 70 rated, which I'm not sure what size we are. We're medium at the moment, so yeah, 65 and 75. So he's about as big as we are, but I mean, it's not like he's the biggest in the world or like a huge name. So there's no point making him figurehead when we might have bigger names in a few months' time. Maybe in a few weeks' time. Production, until I've kind of got the roster in, I'm going to ignore this for now. We'll get this up and going once I know how much money we've spent on getting workers in. I mean, at the moment, we're not going up against WWE because we're medium, so we should be okay for a while. Now, once we're going up against WWE, then we'll really focus on pumping money in to get it as good as we can. Booking team, it's just me and Johnny Ace. Jesus. I'm going to get some guys in for the booking team and also for the inner circle. Get some road agents in and stuff. I like the idea of getting some more, Arn Anderson type figures in. There's not really too much on the roster. It's a pretty young roster from what I can see. So I'm going to get some veterans in to help out backstage and maybe even chip in on TV now and again. So let's go through our roster overview. Let's see what the split is. We're pretty even on faces and heels, maybe a few more heels, but the roster is small. We want a lot more people to work with. So let's do that. Let's get some workers in. All right, let's see who we've got available. We'll work our way down, see if we can get some guys who can come straight in. Bret Hart, unwilling. In this save, it's pretty realistic where a lot of guys who had big contracts when WCW bought out didn't want to jump to WWE. I think because they wanted to keep getting their guaranteed money from WCW. But those guys are still unavailable. Goldberg's unavailable, Hogan, Jarrett, Nash. There's a few who are, but a lot of the big, huge names are not available and won't be available for a little while. So we got to keep an eye on all of them. I'm actually going to shortlist them. Shortlist a few of them anyway. Guys who I want, so that when they become available, we can grab them straight away before WWE snatches them up. I mean, do we want to bring Hogan back in? I'm not too sure about that. Bischoff is available, but I think we need some distance from Bischoff for a moment. Maybe down the line we might, once we're on our own feet and we're our own thing, then we can do some storyline where some of the older guard come back and want to take back over, but not right now. No, I mean, of these, who's available? Jerry Lawler. I'm actually going to get Lawler in. I can use Lawler maybe as commentary, definitely as non-screen talent, maybe even a manager. He can do a bit of everything, and again, he'll be a nice respected figure. I'm sure he could do a job road agent. Let's do a year deal. Let's see if he'll go down to, what, 45,000 a month? Again, this side of things is pretty new to me. I'm not really an expert. I kind of just do whatever it tells me. Yeah, that's fine. He only wants events and TV shows. That's no problem. Hire good merchandise. Yeah, that's fine. I was trying to pull a fast one on you. Right. Nash isn't available. Conan. Yeah, we'll get Conan in. He can talk, he can work. Could help us out in Mexico as well once we're pushing there. So let's do that. Again, I'm going to just do 1 year for the moment. Then we can kind of see. Yeah, I'll do 1 year. Events and TV shows, that's fine. Or do we want Scott Hall? I feel like Scott's going to be more trouble than he's worth. He'd instantly be our top guy, but I mean, he's definitely painkiller abuser, personal issues. After feel like he's going to be trouble. I feel like he might not show up. He could, scupper our plans. So we're not going to go for Scott right now. What about 50 and up? We'll say Nita, PG James, PG in. We get the Road Dog in. Probably just a guy who can get beaten every now and then, but I mean, he can talk, he can work. I'm looking for guys who can do a bit of everything. Makes booking a lot easier. Bobby Heenan, I like the idea of getting in. Do you want the Bushwhackers? I don't think so. Kurt Hennig is a no-brainer. Let's do 1 year again. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolute no-brainer. I mean, he slots right in. He can do it all. Davey, again, I feel like he's more trouble than he's probably worth. Dustin, unwilling. Perfect. The perfect man who I was thinking of. I think bringing in Dusty Rhodes next night. So do I, DDP. I think Dusty as a kind of figure backstage would help a lot. Help on the booking team. And again, a guy who can pop up. Maybe he could be the GM figure down the line that I was talking about. I'm actually going to take Dusty for the 3 years. I can't imagine he'll be too much trouble. Hoovy. Yeah, I'll get Hoovy. He's definitely trouble, but I mean, for the cruiserweight division, I think he'll help out a lot. Ken Shamrock. He's training for a fight. I'm going to shortlist him. I like the idea of getting Shamrock in right off the back of fighting in UFC. So in September, we'll come back for Shamrock. He could be our kind of Brock figure. Laparca? Is he popular? Yeah, we'll get Laparca back in to WCW. 1 year, not getting the Bushwhackers in. Norman Smiley, I can't get it in. I should probably be looking at skills. I don't know why I'm looking at. I'd love to get Ray in. He's not available right now, but the second he is. Now, here we go. Every D's free. 700 show. I mean, that's a no-brainer again. Lock him down. Look at those stats. We might have our future top guy. 15%. Let's lock him down for 3 years. Why not? Roddy Piper. I think I prefer Lawler and Dusty Rhodes instead of Piper, just because Piper was such a big part of WCW. I want to create kind of distance between the old WCW and the new guard. Again, age in the cage and all that stuff. Sabu. Yeah, get him in. I think he could work. Yeah, that's fine. It's pretty funny having guys saying, like, due to their declining ability, they only want to work events and TV shows. This is 2001. Like, Sabu worked all the way up until the end last year, or this year even. And, like, in 2001, he's saying he's banged up. Steiner, would love to get him in. Get Silver King in. Again, I know some of these are guys. I just said I want to create distance between old WCW and new. But I mean, it's not like Silver King was hogging the limelight on WCW every week. He was just a guy on the show. Don't think there's any harm having a few more of those. Dan Hansen's retired. Can Dr. Death work? That'd be crazy to get Dr. Death in. He's got the stat. Getting Dr. Death in. I like that. Me too. Ace. It could be a mistake. Getting Dr. Death in. I don't know what he was like in 2001. Can't remember. But look, if he can go, he can go. Sting is an absolute must when he becomes available. Super crazy. Yes. I mean, ECW is just after closing too, so a lot of these guys are just in limbo. So let's snatch them up before WWE does. Do we want Ted DiBiase? No, I don't want him right now. Terry Funk. Yeah, another old guard guy. Can work with the young guys, can put young guys over, and can help us out backstage too. He's over. Yeah, get him in. I was actually more of an ECW guy than a WCW guy. As you can probably tell already, I'm getting a lot of ECW guys in. But, I mean, they're over and they can work. Tommy Dreamer, I don't really rate that much, but probably wouldn't be the worst. Yeah, we'll get him in. Give him the year, 15%. Tony Schiavone, get him right back in. I mean, he is the voice of WCW, I think. I love his work on AEW, which I probably saw more of than WCW, or maybe I just remember it more. But I think he's just the voice of the show, and he's an invaluable guy. He can do all the interviews, he can do commentary, he can do whatever. And he seems pretty liked as well, rather than real life anyway. Ultimo Dragon is out injured, but we might get him in. Vader, decent health, low levels of fatigue. Yeah, come on, we get Vader in. A lot of these guys as well might not be used for a little bit of time. I've disabled what's it called? Complaints about being left off the show. Because I like the idea of just kind of making the show as I would or as I wanted to, without being forced to do things at the start anyway. So some of these guys I'm getting in, they might not appear until a few weeks down the line or a few months down the line. Yeah, fair enough, better. But I think it's better looking at them than looking for them. Vampiro. We want Vampiro. I think he's more trouble than he's worth, to be honest. Let's go 30. Let's go lower again. Let's really stack out the roster now, or fill out the roster. Bam Bam's unavailable. Candido, I like. Let's get Candido in. Cyrus, Don Callis. Yeah, actually have ideas for him. I was hoping he would be available. We don't really have a women's division at the moment. For now, I'm going to keep it that way, but down the line, definitely something I want to get up and running. But for now, keeping it simple, to be honest. Dan Severn. No, I mean, we've got Dr. Death in. Do we need Dan Severn? A Dan Severn and Dr. Death tag team? Is that something? I actually like the sound of that. He is training for a fight that's only for the next few days. But again, I like the idea of having UFC guys in. It's just kind of 2001, it's only kind of starting. But I like the idea of kind of legit guys on the roster that can give a bit more legitimacy to it. Don Harris, Devin Storm. That is Glacier? No, not Glacier. Crowbar, isn't it? I don't think I need Crowbar. Dutch Mantel, another guy backstage. I mean, I'm probably just going to keep him on for the 3 years. I know I'm spending a lot of money here, and I'm sure there's more experienced players screaming at the laptop or at the phone that I'm wasting money. But I just like getting it all sorted. And again, guys like Dutch Mantel, Dusty Rhodes, they're going to be here over the next few years, being the booking team and helping out. I think they're worth the weight in gold, worth the money. And Robert's more trouble than he's worth, like I've been saying. Duggan, Neidhart, Jim Steele. Jimmy Hart, a manager maybe? No, I think Jimmy Hart's kind of outdated, I think, in May 2001. Gartner, no. Joey Styles, what's his play-by-play? 85. I mean, will I get him in? You know what? I'm going to get him in. I'm not necessarily going to use him straight away, but I think down the line we'll probably have 2 shows. And I mean, I can have him on one show and have whatever, Shivani or someone on Nitro. Johnny Swinger, Kevin Sullivan. I don't want Kowalski. Guido. Yeah, we'll get Guido in. Mike Tenay. I'm actually surprised he's rated so low on play-by-play and color. I think Mike Tenay is great, but yeah, I'm not going to get him in just because of his stats on here. Mickey Whipwreck I like, but I don't think so. Nathan Jones. Could I do a better job with him? I don't think so. New Jack. I love New Jack, but I mean, we were talking about trouble. That's about as troublesome as it gets. Viscera. Experience. No, I'm not going to get Viscera in. I like the idea of having this WCW being kind of in-ring based, similar to like AEW is now, where it's kind of good workers putting on good matches, and I don't think Viscera fits that bill. PCO, I know it's before his big gimmick, but I mean, he's still got talent. Yeah, let's get PCO in. It's like Road Warriors, 2001's probably a bit past their sell by date. Maybe a once off down the line. Same with Rock and Roll Express. I like them, but does anyone really want to see them in 2001? I don't think so. Insane Clown Posse, I like them. I like them a lot. I don't think I'm going to get them in, though. I just said I'm all about the in-ring work. I'm not going to get the posse in. Simon Diamond, Steve Corino, yes. I like the idea of filling up the roster right now for the year on these contracts, and then kind of reassessing down the line when we have a better idea of how we're looking. Stevie Ray, I mean, you could do a lot with Booker. It'd be nice to have some backup for Booker. You can talk. He's not great, though. Do you know what? I think I actually will get him in. I think it'll come in handy for a lot of stuff with Booker, because if Booker's our top guy, there's no harm in him having a tag partner or some backup now and again. Yeah, that's fine. I don't even know how often I'll use Stevie Ray, but again, it makes Booker happy as well, which is good. Sonny, I might get Sonny in as a manager. I mean, she's definitely trouble. Maybe we won't get Sonny in, actually, looking at some of these. Horn Dog, that's crazy. No, we won't get Sonny in right now. Mosh and Trasher, 2001. Again, 2001. I'm thinking it's Attitude Era, but it's not really. It's after the Attitude Era. I mean, WCW is dead. It's the Invasion Era, which, I mean, it's a bit past Mosh and Trasher. Jerry, yes, absolutely. All right, I think we've really padded out our roster, but let's look for some young talent that we can build ourselves. Max age, we're going to say 21 and to higher. Can work in the USA. Amazing Red, I mean, he's only on 2,800 a month. We might as well just lock him down, because we might save money in the long run on him. Okay, yeah, he's on to me. We'll just do 1 year then. But yeah, I like Amazing Red for the Cruiserweight division. Chris Hero, Chris Sabin. I don't see Alex Shelley there, so I don't want one without the other. AJ, the most no-brainer of all time. You know, I'm just going to lock AJ down to 6,000 a year for 3 years. Why not? We'll get the use out of him. Let's get Punk in as well. 1 year for Punk, although I think he's going to be another guy who will get the use out of, even though he's probably not going to get to the level, too high a level in the company, because he's quite young. But, I mean, he'll definitely do a job for us. Eric Young, I mean, I like Eric Young. I'm not signing this Eric Young in 2001. No way is this guy going to be on TV. Homicide. He's pretty over in New York. Let's get him. Again, we've got a big roster, but I like having more to choose from. Jack Evans. I love Jack Evans. This one's more for me rather than what I think WCW would do at the time. Although I think Shane McMahon would like Jack Evans. They seem like they'd get on. I'm just kind of stuffing the roster with guys who, I mean, a lot of these guys are just going to be people who I can rely on that'll have good matches, but I can beat pretty easily. No way that's that Matt Striker. That must be a different Matt Striker. Nick Gage. No, I don't think he fits the bill. Paul London, now there's a guy who probably fits the bill. Yeah, he can work. Put him in a tag team, maybe. I need to check. That's just reminding me seeing Paul Turner. I need to check and make sure we have enough referees. Or any referees. Young Samoa Joe. No. I think we're probably filling up, to be honest. I mean, we'll get Cena in. If nothing else, just to stop WWE getting him. Let's lock him down. Why not? Take that, Vince. Alright, I think our roster is pretty sorted. Need storylines. Yeah, so how this works at the moment, we've got no TV deal, but we do have a pay-per-view at the end of the month, and that's kind of where things will start. So my hope is we have a first big show, and then from the week after that, that's when we go into Nitro every week, and then monthly pay-per-views from there. Keeping it simple, not trying to change things up too much. Is there a TV deal even possible? So what do we want? Cable? USA. Nitro. Right, they won't give us that. Won't give us that. I don't think we're ready for that, to be honest, anyway. 73 quality expected early evening. Could we hit 73? Maybe the late night slot is what we'll go for after the first pay per view. In what, 6 months? How much are they willing to give? We get 25% of the revenue, and we get pretty decent coverage. So yeah, I think we'll go with that TV deal once the time comes, once the pay per view is passed. All right, let's go through our inner circle. So, head of talent relations. You know what? Maybe we'll wait until people are in. So let's skip to the current week. Crash and Hardcore Holly had an enormous bust up. That sucks. Eddie Guerrero and Stephanie are after having a row. Let's hope that leads to Eddie jumping ship. And Cole and Jericho had a row. Again, let's hope that leads to Jericho jumping. A lot of trouble going on, a lot of arguing. Alright, there's some more done. I don't want to miss out on Vader, to be honest. We can do good things with Vader. Let's up our offer. What's up with Mike Awesome? That makes no sense. Why would he hate Joey Styles in 2001? I know he hate him in the one night stand comments, but I thought he said he was happy to sign him when I got him in. I might have messed up there. I'm just gonna give Mike Awesome $5,000 and see if that doesn't make good. I really didn't mean to do that. Okay, he's annoyed now. That's better. That is so stupid. Still WCW name. I'm just gifting out money. Scott Hall is on his way to the WWF. Best of luck. I would have liked Scott in. Probably my favourite out of the NWO boys, but again, I hate the idea of having big plans in place. Scott Hall, main event in a show or something, and then he doesn't show up or whatever. Hey, so just Bobby Heenan left. Now we've got everyone. Once Bobby Heenan is in, we've got everyone in. We're ready to go. I might move the date of the pay-per-view so that it's the end of this week, and then we can get things rolling. Bobby Heenan is in the door. We have got our roster for now, anyway. All right. Let's look at our finances after getting everybody in. You know what? Not that bad. 283,000 in the hole. But I mean, we've got a lot of talent in. Now, I know our monthly salary's gone up, or our monthly wages have gone up. Monthly wage bill is, it's higher than I thought. $964,000. We're going to need a big TV deal. I might have oversigned. But I think we can get things rolling before it becomes too much of an issue. And we've got a lot of guys we can let go as well, let's be honest. But again, better looking at them than looking for them. Let's get this show on the road. So, the big bang, when it all kicks off. Yeah, 2-hour show. And we're going to run it on, it's May 12th. We're going to run it tomorrow. Ticket prices, average. Okay, yeah, so it's just Dusty Rhodes is not available that day. So let's do that. Let's run that tomorrow. So, all right, let's get our gimmicks in order. Let's get our face and heel turns in order. All right, AJ. Yeah, fine. How are we looking? We've got a lot more heels than faces now, I think. Yeah, a lot more. So we need a few more faces. So yeah, maybe AJ can be face then. Let's change the arrogant gimmick. Let's just change it to swagger rather than arrogant. Is red face. Arn is a road agent. Yeah, BG's better as a heel. Give him the face. Bobby the Brain could be heel, face, heel. Candido, better as a heel. Okay, amazing heel. All right, we'll keep him as a heel. Fit Finley can be a worker. He doesn't need to be retired. Let's have Homicide come in as a face, kind of badass face. King. All of my roster are better as heels. Steve Williams can be a face. We'll have Tommy Dreamer be a face. Okay. Happy with that. I'm going to put Amazing Red under a mask, I think, and kind of have him be our own, like, luchador. I'm going to just change the name to They just keep it as Amazing Red. I mean, Amazing Red is actually a good name. Yeah, I like the idea of him being our kind of Rey Mysterio, if we can't get Rey Mysterio back. And maybe get up to a point where the mask has a bit of prestige and then a big match to lose it versus, mask versus career match or something like that. I like the idea of that. So yeah, we'll have Amazing Red under mask. He's got a lot of way to go anyway before he's over enough to be featuring even regularly. All right, let's check out our tag teams. We don't have much. Dragons, 3 count. Thrillers. I'm going to disband this team because Romeo is a face. All right, let's start a new team. Like Amazing Red and AJ is a team. We just call them Team Amazing. Is that a good name? Yeah, it's not the best name, but I actually like the idea of just calling them Team Amazing. The Amazing Driver, whatever that is. Yeah, I think they look well suited to each other. I think they could be something down the line. What other teams we got? Punk and Cabana. Punk is face or Punk is heel and Cabana's face at the moment. RVD and Sabu, maybe down the line. PCO and Hugh Morris. Ace and Johnny Ace and Steve Williams. Is Johnny Ace retired? Can he work? No, I don't want Johnny Ace fucking working. Let's sort out our inner circle. So, head of talent relations. His sleazy personality is not best suited for the role, I'll say. Aaron is well suited. Driven. Alright, Aaron or Dutch, I think. I think Aaron. Let's go Dutch as head of talent relations. Sorry, Steve. Morale officer. They'll suit candidates. Charles Robinson. Let's have Stacy Keebler being the morale officer. I think that'd work well. Oh, man, why is David Flair? You can never please these people, can you? Head men's trainer, sorry. I mean, Dusty's a no-brainer. Surprised I couldn't pick Dusty as head of talent relations. Maybe I could, and I just didn't spot him. The women. I mean, Fit Finley did it at WB, didn't he? Does that make sense? Travel organizer. Have I not started travel? I actually haven't looked at this. There's some mildly negative. You know what? I'm not going to use the wall. I might just get rid of it. No, do you know what? I'll beat him a few times, then get rid of him. Okay, David Flair's broken up with Seth Gamer. Well, that explains it. Mike Awesome hates Joey Styles, which is annoying. Buff Bagwell has a strong dislike of Kiwi. Bobby Heenan is hostile towards Tony Schiavone. Okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best, though. Transport is organised. We won't pay for it. Hotels are organised. They're not paid for. Okay, that helps things a bit. Travel organisers, lock stews. We won't have. Locker room leaders. Do we want locker room leaders? Okay, I think maybe DDP as the locker room leader. He's going to be treated well, I think. Dusty and Canyon happen. That's good. Chief Enforcer. All right, who do we want enforcing things back there? Kurt. I feel like Kurt could be a bit of trouble, though. Do you know what? We're going to risk it. We're going to get him in. That could be the downfall of the company. All right, now what's the booking team? Booking skill of, what, 60? Oh, we can go higher. 70? Go higher again. Punk is only young. We don't want him in. Yeah, add Dusty, Dutch. Who else can we add? Are we happy enough? I think I'm actually happy enough. Your book skill is currently 75. No, do you know what? Me, Ace, Dusty Rhodes. Well, me, Shane McMahon, Ace, Dusty Rhodes, Mantel, and we'll add Funk. He's relaxed too, so. Cool. All right. So, we're going to leave it there, folks. I'm going to set up the next show, the first show. That'll be in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my scrambled roster signing. I mean, we signed the whole world, it felt like. But we're set up nicely now going forward. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoy this series. Like I said, it's my first time really diving into TEW. So let me know if I make any mistakes or if you have any advice in the comments, let me know. Give the video a like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Brand new channel, as I'm sure you've seen, so it might take a bit of time to get up and going, but hopefully you enjoy the ride and we can take WCW back to the top. Thanks for watching.